What's up, all? Jeremy here again, and welcome back for another classic leaked PSP review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the latest title from Icon Games, Vertigo. Icon Games is an indie developer from London that since 2004 have been developing family-friendly games with unique gameplay elements for many platforms, including the Wii, PSP, iPhone, and PC. First, let's give an overview of Vertigo. Vertigo is a mixture of your everyday guide your sphere through a maze with a racing element combined to it. It's kind of like a racing labyrinth without the tilt. You must roll your Zorb, that's what they call the sphere, a Zorb, through a variety of high-rising tracks, which include towering rooftops, rocky canyons, space stations, and other sky-high locations. Each location has a variety of tracks to choose from, with the difficulty of those tracks ranging from 1 to 6. There are 5 different modes to pick from. You have arcade mode, career mode, time trials, practice, and Orb Bowling. Arcade mode is your basic jump in and play, in which you have a certain amount of time to complete each track. There's a cool little twist in this mode, though, in that the advancement is not linear. Say like Mortal Kombat's arcade mode, where you simply climb the tower and fight the next dude. It actually branches after each race, and you can choose which path you would like to take. Career mode lets you choose these same locations, except it assigns them different planets that you have to travel to in order to play the level to add a little bit more of a story to it. This mode starts your timer at 0 and you race through the track as fast as you can. You earn medals by passing the course in a given time. Practice and time trials are exactly what you expect, and trust me, you will need the practice mode. Finally, there is Orb Bowling. Your sphere is positioned in different areas of the track, depending on which arena you're in, and you send it rolling and try to knock down the pins, just like bowling. The ramps aren't always straight though, and some bowling arenas actually require quite a bit of steering in order to get your Zorb to the pins. You can edit the look of your Zorb with what Icon claims to be 2 million different combinations. I'm sure it is, really no reason to question that. There is a lot of unlockable designs for your Zorb. You can also upgrade your Zorb's attributes by collecting upgrades in the tracks, which give you mana points. These upgradable areas are acceleration, traction, braking, and air control. They also have a multiplayer section of it in which you can challenge up to 4 friends to race you online. Let's talk a little bit about the controls. You control your Zorb with the analog nub. Your R and L buttons swing the camera, and the face buttons control top-down view, air braking, and speed boosting. The controls are relatively responsive. The analog nub was okay, but at times it felt a little hard to control the sphere, like there was a little bit of a delay to it. Circle for the air braking is super responsive. Talk about the graphics. For being a $10 downloadable game, the graphics are okay for a PSP game. However, at times it felt to be of like a PS1 quality, actually. As you can see, when your ball goes out of bounds, it explodes, and I'm sure if you've been watching this, you've seen it explode a million times. It actually kind of reminds me of something that would come off of a floppy disk from 1996. Also, the text during career mode is pretty small and difficult to read. I know that's not necessarily a graphical issue, but could use a little bit of a size enhancement there. It is a colorful game with a variety of interesting environments, but there really was nothing that made me say, that looks really good. I didn't notice any real graphical glitches or anything. The soundtrack isn't bad. It's repetitive background music with a club-like feel. It really reminds me of Tetris if it were at a rave glow sticking. It sounds great through the earbuds, and the effects sounds are pretty good too. The air braking, albeit okay, became annoying, especially since you use this feature constantly, and every time you do it, it sounds like this. Also, the in-game voice acting that tells you good job or that you're doing bad is just the same few phrases over and over, and it sounds really robotic. In fact, I'm sure it's not voice acting. I'm sure it is robotic. I found this mainly was the case in the bowling mode. That's really the main place I heard it. When you choose a planet, the game starts typing out a detailed description of what's going on the planet. For each letter that is written, there's an infernal high-pitched chirp that emits from the game. They should really start using this instead of waterboarding during interrogations, but I'm really not sure if it's any more humane, to be totally honest. So overall, I don't really know where to start. Let's start with the gameplay. This game has the potential to be a lot of fun. The bottom line is, I think it's just too difficult. It's a very frustrating game. The constant need for air braking in order to make a turn just kind of sucks the fun out of what a racing game should be. Imagine if you were playing Burnout or Forza or Gran Turismo and you had to brake to a dead stop every 3 to 4 seconds. I found myself constantly having to slow down to make a turn only to have a jump in front of me that I wouldn't have the speed for at that point, and the boost function didn't work quickly enough to compensate. Also, your Zorb is a bouncy son of a gun. If you do have enough speed for that jump, you better hope that you don't bounce off the track when you land on the other side. If your timing's good enough, you can air brake when you land, but that was a rarity for me. The game also doesn't have all the glitches worked out. At one point in the game, I was able to air brake in midair in a jump, only to drop to the ground and not explode when I landed. Here's the video of the aftermath of that. There you go. Finally, I think that multiplayer just isn't going to be happening with this game. It would be a great addition if it was more fun, but I'm not sure you'll find two people in close proximity with the game. The controls are good, but not quite responsive enough in the beginning to make the game quickly accessible and enjoyable to your average gamer. I know you can upgrade your attributes, and I'm sure it probably gets better once you do upgrade the traction and everything. But honestly, I could never get far enough to get the mana points needed to upgrade without becoming extremely mad. You're lucky you're not hearing me cursing on this video in the background every time I freaking rolled off the thing. The graphics quality isn't horrible, but it does leave something to be desired, even for a $10 PlayStation Network game. Overall, I think this game might be a decent pickup if you can get it for $5 or less, and if you are a fan of this type of game. But I would feel like I was doing you guys a disservice if I didn't tell you to hold on to your $10. I think it's much better spent on 5 of the $2 meal deals at Taco Bell, and we here at Classic Leet recommend the Gordita Supreme. Thanks for watching the review, and be sure to subscribe.